So first of all, it is I'm just in the first slide. I'm giving the, you can say, magnitude of the issue, or you can say that how big this problem is. It Ganga Basin basically caters to 43% of the population, as well as it is 28% of our water resources and covers 26% of our land area. This is one of the most populated river basin, and it contributes to 40% of the India's GDP. 11 states, 139 districts, and it has got 36 major tributaries. We have got today only when I was discussing in another meeting, if you include all the tributaries, it will be around 48 tributaries, which are basically of concern for us. I'm just giving you a historical perspective. The basin is basically it since 4,000 years known history of civilizations existing here, from Indus Valley civilization to Mauryan Empire to Guptas and Mughals. So it has got history of its own, and it has sustained anthropogenic pressure since so many years. It has the resources are used for mainly it is an agrarian belt. It is used for agriculture purpose. Allowable for fertile soil is good for our crops like rice, wheat, and sugarcane. And fishing is in the is one of the major livelihood which is supported by the rich riverine ecosystem. The waterway is used for transportation and trade also. So it links up to so many dimensions of our, uh, you can say, our existence, our presence here in Delhi. I'm talking to you from Delhi. It is also part of the Ganga Basin. So here in this particular slide, I have just the evolution of this particular national mission for Clean Ganga. It started off in 1985, Ganga Action Plan 1. Then Ganga Action Plan 2 in 1993, National River Conservation Plan in 95, and 2009 National Ganga River Basin Authority was constituted. And from 2014 onward, an announcement of Namami Ganga Mission 1. So basically, it came into mission mode from 2014 onwards. 2015, we launched the Namami Ganga program 1, and now we are in Namami Ganga program 2. See the basic game changer in let you know about it, the legal framework, and uh, what has changed from 85 to 2015 or 2016, you can say, is basically legal reinforcement of all the efforts. Efforts were there from 85 to 93, 95, but they were, you can say, diffused efforts. They were not the focused effort. But from 2014 or 15 onwards, when a serious thought was given by the government how to do it, then on we a legal framework was set up. The authority was constituted. It has got both. Most of the river, I'm just meandering right now. Most of the river basin organizations have got two functions, basically implementation, coordination only. But you, you see any European Danube or any RBO, these RBOs are basically implementing certain programs. They are basically coordinating with the, you can say, different countries. But here, the main, here the you can say RBO plus status was given to NMCG, and that plus status is it has been authorized under Environmental Protection Act 1986. This authority has got all the power which are any environment regulator, be it CPCB or be it State Pollution Control Board. It has got it has got authority to regulate also activities. So it is not program implementer, or you can say coordinator. It has got regulatory function which separates it from all other. And that happened in 2016. I'll be dealing with this in next few slides. So the watershed, you can say, is 2016 when authority notification came out. Then 2019, 2018, we have given e-flow notification for Ganga, which is all of you must be aware that e-flow notification is vital for sustenance and survival of a river. Then first governing council meeting headed National Ganga Council meeting was held in 2019, and subsequently it was held in 2022 also. These National Ganga Councils are basically headed by Honorable Prime Minister. This is the three stages, you can say. 85 to 2009 was initial stage, 2010 to 2016 mid stage, and 2016 the watershed is basically current stage. Few attributes of these phases I have put it down, like initial stage, Ganga Action Plan 1 and 2, National River Conservation Plan was there, National Ganga River Basin Authority was created. In the mid stages, it was announcement of Namami Ganga Mission, launch of Namami Ganga program, official notification issued for authority composition. And after that, formation of National Ganga Council, extension of Namami Ganga program to NGM 3. Now, key challenges what we have, I have just jotted down key challenges what are faced by implementing this NMCG Namami Ganga program. First is this historical context, inhabited by for centuries, leading to a long history of human influence on its ecosystem. With the advent of industrialization, pollution levels increased significantly due to untreated industrial waste disposal. As well as, I'll tell you one thing, within the last 5 months, I have extensively visited from Calcutta to Haridwar, most of the towns I have visited. What I have found that a belief system exists with river. There is a close association of people, you can say their spirituality, their belief system. There is a close association between river and the people. And this particular connect, sometimes it is good, as well as sometimes it becomes an obstacle also. Reason being, any intervention is viewed very seriously. Lot many concerns. Sometimes smaller concerns they become they are magnified like anything, and there are few vital issues just because that there is a strong connect between river and people. It is good in so many ways, because if you take it channelize into right direction, it will certainly provide you good results. But certain times it becomes obstacle. Then second was religious and cultural practice, what I was talking. Then agriculture practices, reason being the Doa belt, Ganga Yamuna belt, basically it is agrarian belt, intensive agriculture, use of lot of chemicals, pesticides, which are one of the key factors in polluting the river system. Then urbanization, you know it very well. 26% of the area and 43% of the population. Almost 60 crore population is dependent on Ganga, exist in Ganga River Basin, and indirectly or directly it is linked up with the riverine ecosystem. Then obviously lack of proper waste management infrastructure. Lot of industrialization took place. Like there are pockets which are basically heavily industrialized on the banks of Ganga. Name one of them is Kanpur, Banthar. Then if you see tributaries, then on Yamuna, Panipat, Delhi, so many industrial towns, Calcutta, so many industrial towns, they exist on the banks of Ganga. And with a weaker system in our country, sometimes what has happened that pollution abatement of river was challenged. Then there was lack of governance model, legal framework, and in fact, stringent regulations were also not there. With the authority notification, I feel that now a particular governance model has come up. Now you might have heard that our ministry is now thinking of creating 6 more river basin plans uh, on the lines which NMCG. So we are basically, you can say, first river basin authority or river basin management unit, whatever you can say. We are the first one, and we are the leader in this particular field. Then need of scientific approach and planning basis reasoning. You might have heard so many times that the STPs were created, but they were not utilized in Gap 1 and Gap 2. That was just because that the linkages or creation was given to ULBs without thinking of governance model or legal framework. So I'm coming to uh, conservation of River Ganga and its tributaries. So what has changed? I have listed these few points, which after NMCG, what has changed? Now it is basically comprehensive planning is the base. Right now, when we are ending our NGM phase 2, you can say that will be over by 2026. I'm right now as a ED project is I'm looking after mopping up operation of all the creation of created infrastructure, how much is the gap in generation, and what infrastructure we have created or what infrastructure in near future we are creating. So that gap analysis has been become a base of our exercise right now. So we are planning for whatever remaining mopping up. Why I am saying mopping up? Reason being whatever we have created, now we want to uh, am I audible? Am I clear?
Yes, sir, you are.
Yeah. There was some disturbance, so I thought that I should clarify. So sewage gap analysis is one thing which is uh, basically right now we are doing it in all, you can say, with due diligence, all earnestness. We want to see how much we have created and what is required, and with a predicted population of maybe next 15 years, because most of the sewage infrastructures we are creating now of 50 to 20 years life cycle. So after 20 years, whatever till that particular time, whatever requirements are, we are trying to create right now. Then sanctioning of project also changed in National Mission for Clean Ganga. Reason being, authority order provides immense power to this authority. Even 1,000 crore projects are sanctioned here in NMCG. The executive committee of the NMCG is empowered for that. Then a lot of new technology adoption. We have tried innovative technology. We have tried. You can get array of projects here in NMCG. If anyone visits NMCG, from constructed uh, wetlands to a aerobic SBR, aerobic digestion of sludge, to anaerobic digestion of sludge. Then there are so many, you can say, projects which are having different dimension and having uniqueness of technology associated with it. Bioremediation, so many things are being taken care of. Then now the monitoring and enforcement is also very strict. We are monitoring each and every project. Their O&M phase is being monitored very properly. We are seeing that these projects, they deliver the uh, outputs or outcomes for which they have been designed. Then the authority notification along with this particular NMCG is also registration act. So though we are part of ministry, the third vertical of Department of Water Resources, River Development and Ganga Rejuvenation, the third vertical, Ganga Rejuvenation, is basically an NMCG. but simultaneously we are away from the, you can say, normal nitty-gritties of ministry. So we have been made independent, but the part of the ministry. So it's the beauty of this particular notification, which has created a, you can say, which has provided a lot of operational flexibilities. Then international collaboration is one of them. So like Indo-Israel water collaboration, Indo-Dutch, Indo-Denmark, Indo-EU. So so many collaborations are there. Then we are part of 49 universities. We have got MOU with 49 universities. Most of the IITs are with us. Most of Terry is with us. You can say we have got partnership with all the premier institutions of the country, which are working for the wastewater management. So just this is a, you can say, a uh, the slide particularly shows in a nutshell what we have achieved till now. See, there are 5 pillars of Namami program. Aviral Ganga is basically looking after ecology and flow. E-flow, you can say. Nirmal Ganga is taking care of the pollution abatement work. Earth Ganga is basically river people connect by boosting economy and livelihood. It is basically like heart, Ghat Pe Heart, and all those programs are basically linked with Earth Ganga. We have got a small Ganga shop also existing in here in Delhi. Jan Ganga is basically for people's participation and ensuring connect, as well as this is strengthening in right direction, which should be more on scientific base, less on emotional basis. The Jan Ganga program is also there. Then Gyan Ganga is basically for research, policy, formulation, and knowledge management. The list of projects up to February 2024, I can give you 461 projects have already been completed, and the investment is the sanction cost of that is 38,616 crores, out of which 201 sewage infrastructure, 107 REs, ghats and crematorium, 67 projects of biodiversity, afforestation, bioremediation, then research study programs 37, institutional development 29, solid waste management 12 projects, and other projects of 8 other projects have also been taken. Now I am coming to the legal framework and authority order. I wanted to focus on this particular area. Reason being, if you the game changer for pollution abatement is this authority order of 2016. This particular order has changed everything. Para 4 of this order provides the principles for regeneration, protection, and management of River Ganga, and empowers NMCG to specify additional principles if required. Para 5 is for e-flow, 6 is for pollution abatement. Para 8 deals with NMCG, has the power of issuing direction. This power is equivalent to CPCB and SPCB powers, where they can issue show cause to any entity if they perceive that that particular entity is creating some pollution or restricting the flow of the river Ganga. They can direct that particular institution as well as any entity. Para 10, monitoring. Then para 25 is monitoring the execution of plans and programs of district Ganga committees. Now, I'll tell you, the organizational structure is, you can say, we say it 5 level. The first unit is we have designated Ganga grams. After that, district Ganga committees. Then on that, there is a state level institutions are there. SPMG is there. SPMG is a state level program management group, as well as after that, National Mission for Clean Ganga. National Mission for Clean Ganga has got 2 levels. There is National Ganga Council, which is the policy making body headed by Honorable Prime Minister. Then there are two bodies. Basically, they are one is but there is governing council, and another is executive committee. Executive committee is basically for execution or sanctioning of projects, which is headed by the DG of NMCG. So Para 29 deals with state Ganga committees. SGCs are bound by directions of NGC and NMCG. Then Para 32 geographical areas of NMCG operation is specifies. Then like 34 is NMCG as an empowered organization which can give approval of 1,000 crores. Then 38 for coordination of all activities. Then other functions are in para 39, which are NMCG shall cause to identify threats to river Ganga. So it can take preemptive measures also to and take remedial actions also. So these days we are getting lot many directions from the court that in this particular situation why you have not acted, or why so are all the acts of commission and omissions are being viewed by courts also very seriously. So authority order also para 41 defines powers of NMCG in detail. Then para 47 is to call upon every institution and basically show causing. 42 is giving prior approval for engineering diversions like bridges, jetties, and ghats. So all the regulatory functions are also provided. That is why initially, if you remember, I have told that it is a RBO plus organization. It is not RBO. This is not river basin organization. It is RBO plus organization. And NMCG may constitute one or more river Ganga management committees if need be. That is para 51. So now I'm coming to key initiatives under Namami Ganga program towards mitigating the key challenges and regenerating river Ganga and its tributaries. First is basically we have come up with Nirmal Ganga unpolluted flow. And for this, we have urban sewage infrastructures, industrial effluent management, and now we have taken up a transformative initiative that is annuity model. 32 projects in 27 towns we have put under HAM, and this is a triple P model. This triple P model basically ensures private in this public utility field in the abatement of pollution. First time in the country has been done over here. This basically saves our kitty. It basically allows us to spread our investment in larger areas. It basically brings in more and more, you can say, public participation or private participation in cleaning up the river Ganga. Then another nice initiative is One City, One Operator. One City, One Operator is basically there are so many, you might have heard that this infrastructure has been created under Amrut. This has been created under SBM Swachh Bharat Mission 1 or 2, or this has been created by NMCG. So any city has got funding from few this government of India or state has funded or any ULB has funded. These infrastructures, when they are created by different agencies, they, in order to harmonize their operation and harmonize the pollution abatement, we have brought in One City, One Operator concept. And more than 90 cities operated are now under OCOP mode. Then we are basically assessing and keep and we have got surveillance on pollution. What is the load? CPCB on our behalf, Central Pollution Control Board on our behalf. They carry out regular real-time monitoring of water quality in Ganga Basin and specifically on the main stem and other main tributaries like Yamuna, and they provide us report which are the stretches which are having pollution. You must be knowing that stretches are basically classified on the basis of BOD load. Any stretch which has got BOD load more than 30 is basically is basically a PRS1. It gets top priority. Then PRS2 is basically 20 to 30. 10 to 20 is PRS3. 6 to 10 is PRS4, and below 6 is PRS5. So these way the stretches, and I can proudly say that now there are no stretches which are PRS1 or PRS2 on Ganga River. Honorable Minister, he has so many times in his interviews, he has mentioned that he can matlab safely say that you can take bath in Ganga anywhere, and you should not be afraid that you will catch up some disease or other. So this is hybrid details of hybrid annuity mode, how we are construction phase. 40% of the capital cost is provided by the government. Rest is brought in by the private investor through financial institutions. And in annuity phase, the remaining 60% of the capital investment plus O&M plus payments linked to performance standard is paid to. Reason being, you must be aware about that. In our country, basically, for pollution abatement of river, or you can say sewage infrastructure, ULBs, though they are empowered, but they are not collecting fees. And people are not paying those fees, so their revenue streams are dried up. For that particular, the funding as well as operation and maintenance is provided by the government. And now we are taking we are trying to take private investment into and spread our operations much and more in wider areas. Then one city, one operator. This is Kanpur. Kanpur has got CETP for Jasmo tannery. It has got STPs. It has got 500 MLD STP which have been built up over there. Different STPs which have been built up over there, and they are being operated by one Kanpur River Management. You can say private limited KRMPL. You must have heard the name of Shaporji Palonji. They have created this entity, and they are the one city, one operator agency which is working for us. Now, these are few glimpses of, you can say, RSTP which are already constructed. 140 MLD Dinapur STP, 50 MLD Ramana STP. Dinapur and Ramana is in Varanasi. 58 MLD Muradabad, 16 MLD Halisher STP. So for Aviral Ganga, we are working on so many issues. First thing is 2018, we have come up with e-flow notification. So basically that e-flow notification mandates that this much of water will be available at any time, and the headworks or barrages or weirs or dams, they have to release this much of water in River Ganga, and this is being meticulously being implemented also. The Central Water Commission has been entrusted with the responsibility for supervision, monitoring, regulation, and reporting of compliance to NMCG. Then I'm heading another vertical, that is regeneration of small rivers and streams, wetlands, and other water bodies. So regeneration of small rivers, as you know very well, that though people think that Ganga is a glacial melt river, but significant, no, that is not the case. Hardly 30% is glacial melt. Rest of the base flow comes from the groundwater recharge, or it comes through smaller drains which join the Ganga. That is why to augment the flow, we have to regenerate the small rivers, and small river regeneration is now being taken up very seriously here in NMCG, and we are working that we should create certain models and link it up with the nature-based solutions, so that it can be conversed with other government schemes like NGNREGA and integrated watershed development programs. So funding can be conversed. We want to be technology demonstration. We want to demonstrate the technology. We want to help the district Ganga committee, or we want to create if a small river is flowing through 3, 4 districts, so link up all these district Ganga plans and create a regeneration plan for that particular river. We are working on Kali River. We are working on Hindon. Even we are taking up Sahadra drain in Delhi. So these are new areas where we are working. Then if any river, if we don't talk about riverine ecosystem, if we don't talk about flora and fauna related to it, it will be, I'll say that the story is incomplete. So afforestation and biodiversity conservation has also been taken up by us. 30,000 hectare forest area in Ganga Basin has been afforested. Conservation of 23 Ramsar wetland sites are in Ganga Basin is taken care of. And we have created baseline studies for biodiversity mapping of fish species in GIS platform. Then these are details of afforestation, which state, how much, and what is the expenditure on that. And these programs have been taken up with the state forest departments. Then wetland conservation. So these are the Ramsar sites which have been taken up. So rupees 4.16 crore project sanctioned for wetland inventory assessment and management planning uh, within 10 kilometers of either side of the river Ganga in 27 districts of Uttar Pradesh. So the same in 12 districts of Bihar. For Udhwa Lake Bird Sanctuary in Jharkhand, we have given 50 lakhs. Developed a model toolkit with the help of a school, SPA in Delhi for integrated management and regeneration of urban wetlands. And 5.36 crore project sanctioned for conserving and managing three priority wetlands in Kalewala Jheel, Muzaffarnagar district, then Numaiya Dai Jheel, and Prayagraj district, and so many other places. We are helping in basically biodiversity conservation, new establishment of 4 Ganga biodiversity parks in 4 districts, then scientific exploration of then setting up of biodiversity park in Bijnor in Ayodhya district, then even the crocodile breeding program there in Lucknow is being supported by us. And then capacity building initiatives also are being taken up. Then with CFRI, we are improving the status of fish in River Ganga, the endemic fishes, which can be they are being raised in, by CFRI, and they are being reintroduced in the like Indian major carp, hilsa, and others. So this is in you can say consultation with CFRI. We are carrying out biodiversity conservation and specific fishes. Then I'm coming to Jan Ganga. This is strengthening river people connect. So we celebrate Ganga Utsav. We have done riverfront development. We have created 222 ghats and 63 crematoria. Most of them are electric crematorium. So it is in a better way. We are abating the pollution, as well as we are trying to we are making it more sustainable, having lesser carbon footprint. Then uh, India Water Impact Summit. This is an annual conference jointly conducted with Center for Ganga. C Ganga is IIT Kanpur, which is basically looking after, which has got, you can say, collaboration of so many IITs and other institutions, and they are basically right now our knowledge partners. Then plantation drives and inathons. Then we have got 3,500 plus Ganga Praharis, 22,000 plus Ganga Doots, 700 plus Ganga Myths in 139 district Ganga committees. We celebrate International Goa Day, Yoga Day. In fact, we we promote our ghats for yoga, cultural programs, even festivals, so that as per our you can say history, the Ghats have got a special, you can say, significance in our lives. So that we are trying to revive. These are details of ghats and crematorias which have already been created by NMCG. A few details about Ganga Utsav and Water Day 2023. Some ghats like Pauri district, then Srinagar in Uttarakhand, then Rudraprayag, then Haridwar. This Haridwar is basically Shampur crematorium, which has been shown over there. Then this is famous Chandigarh. This you won't believe the area of this Chandigarh is 40,000 square meter. It is 4 hectare ghat. It's so beautiful. Anytime if you go to Haridwar, and when you opposite to Har Ki Pauri on the main river nearby Bhimboda headwork, you will find this ghat. It's a worth visiting place. Then ghats at Varanasi, then Krishna Ghat at Patna. Now, Gyan Ganga, I am coming to this particular vertical. This is basically the initiatives are capacity building through we have taken up NIUA, urban, then IPA and Center for Science and Environment. Then Center for Excellence on Water Reuse. We are in a quad alliance between NMCG, TERI, industry partners, and industry representative bodies. Yesterday, only Saraswati 2 workshop was there. I was able to participate in the workshop in virtual mode only. Then River City Alliances, we have 143 member cities. It is basically a knowledge platform where the good practices of one city which is on a river with another city, that knowledge platform is there. And we have, I'll tell you about how we have moved on a global platform also. Then real-time water quality monitoring on 17 parameters. Then research and studies with eminent institutions like IIT Kanpur, Tata, TIS, Wildlife Institute of India, TERI, so many organizations are linked. Then release of a strategic framework and guidelines that has been done on a regular basis. We have got our own platform for real-time analysis of Yamuna and Ganga and their tributaries. We call it a Prayag. Any person who is visiting an MCG, kindly come to me. I can show you this particular platform dashboard, which provides you immense, you can say, on a single, or most of the activities are linked. Even now, we are, whatever projects we are under construction, the live feed from the project site will also be linked to this particular dashboard. So this is an online dashboard for continuous monitoring of river water quality, performance of STPs, then CETPs on Ganga and Yamuna River. 292 STPs are mapped, out of which 85 STPs are fetching data directly from the online OCMS monitoring systems. Then 207 STPs are data is being through manual mode. There is a comprehensive approach and efficient real-time analysis and monitoring, which is contributing to the effective management. And STPs are kept operational, meeting prescribed output standard 24/7. In fact, alarms are generated when any STP goes beyond the standard. If that STP is designed to operate, that effluent quality should be below 10, BOD should be below 10. If crosses 10, there will be an alarm generated that this has happened, and between this particular time, corrective measures are to be taken by the operator. So we have got this river city alliances, which is country wise, which is the partnership of NMCG and NIUA. And this is a dedicated platform for river cities in India to ideate, discuss, and exchange information for sustainable management of urban rivers. Urban river management plans are being created. These are this is a framework of URMP, which is basically regulation of activities in floodplain, regenerate water bodies, increase reuse of treated water, riverfront, eco-friendly riverfront. These are the basically, you can say, uh, tiles which have been on all three sustainable parameters which have been created. So key activities of River City Alliance are basically networking, capacity building, and technical support. The same framework has been given in a year. So we have got international collaboration. Right now, we have got a World Bank project. We have got JICA project. We are thinking partnership with IUCN, Indo-Israel Cooperation, Japan, JICA, Australia, whatnot. I can say that yeah, our hands are full. We are finding ourselves in a tight position to manage all these partnerships. Now, last vertical is Ardhanga, but one of the most important vertical. It has got self-sustainable economic model, symbiotic relation between nature and society. These are the basis. Public participation, institutional building, cultural heritage and tourism. In this vertical, we are promoting zero budget natural farming, monetization of reuse of the sludge and treated wastewater, livelihood generation opportunities. These are six key verticals identified. Those are which I have already described. So they are described here in detail. So natural farming, trust areas, how we are basically, we have got partnership with Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, Art of Living, and Patanjali. Then we have got MOU with Sahkar Bharati for setting up Sahkar Ganga, basically on cooperative models and promotion of millet farming, uh, natural farming. So many other organizations are also linked up with this. So monetization of sludge and wastewater, we 20 mld of treated wastewater is being supplied to IOCL Mathura refinery. So, and we have published national framework for safe reuse of treated water. Center of Excellence established in partnership with the Energy Research Institute, TERI. Then MOUs with the Ministry of Power, Ministry of Railways, Ministry of Agriculture. Then livelihood generation, we have got Jalaj livelihood model, then Ganga Bhog with HESCO. So basically Prasad are being standardized. You will come these days if you have seen Aarti on the ghats of Ganga from Varanasi to Rishikesh or anywhere else, you have found that standard dressing code, standard chanting of mantras, standard you can say for Aarti the all the utensils which have that has been that standardization, and even the training for that has been carried out by NMCG. So these are few cultural heritage and tourism initiatives of NMCG. District Ganga Plan, we are basically in association with the GIZ. Uh, we have created few District Ganga Plan, and we are now thinking of replicating in all the Ganga districts. As well as we have created handbook on this so that District Ganga Plan should be of a standard format and they can redress all the issues comprehensively. These are number of meetings held by DGCs. So almost 2,600 meetings have been done up to February 2024. Then how to strengthen these DGCs. So GDPMS portal has been created. So many other initiatives are being done so that grassroots level is strengthened and the pollution abatement can and other verticals can be taken care of by grassroots level organization. These are minuted meetings and minuted monitored meeting, and these are few photographs of all the DCs. So we have received lot many achievements and accolades. One thing just wanted to show you that how these priority stretches were there in 2015 and what they are right now in 2022, it is CPCB report. I'll uh, I'll say that unless until you see the results, you don't believe it. So this is the stretches which were in priority 5 stretches. Now they are not Haridwar to Sultanpur, not polluted because they are now not in Uttarakhand. Then Kannauj to Varanasi, from priority 3, they have migrated to priority 5. West Bengal, Triveni to Diamond or Bihar, Buxar to Bhagalpur. Priority 2 to it has become not polluted. It is just 15 and 22. So it is hardly 7 years. Triveni to Diamond Harbor, priority 5 to priority 5, but substantial reduction in BOD. So you can very well see that now there is reduction. You may get lot many reports and this is happening, NMCG crores of rupees are being wasted or something like that, those reports. But I'll say one thing, if you see these comparatives, you believe that key work has been done. There was one article in Indian Express, and that article was written by one honorable MP, and he has talked about. But those are basically you wait for the results and you see the intermediate results. These are intermediate results, and these results are speaking for themselves. So these are improvements. BOD median has improved at 4, and fecal coliform median has improved at 25 locations. So they are basically, and they adopt a standard procedure, and comparatives can be drawn very easily. So I'll say one thing, that this Namami Ganga mission has been given World Restoration Flagship by UN Decade, one of the top 10. So you can very well imagine how much they are not going to swayed by any other consideration, but they will certainly go for the what are the real basis, what are the real parameters. On that basis, they have given. And this is a decade on restoration by UN General Assembly. So you can very well understand how much importance is given to, or how they have assessed our value. Participation in UN Water Conference. So achievements are like special recognition, like climate smart utility recognition by IWA, International Water Association, then Mississippi River Cities and Towns Initiative. So then we launched this in COP28, the Global River City Alliance. Now this has got 9 countries as of now, and we are thinking of pitching for World Secretariat, or you can say Secretariat here in Delhi. We want that GRCA should be prerogative of it should be prerogative of India, and NMCG. The performance of NMCG will certainly bring us closer to this particular you can say target which we have kept for us. This is all what I can say. Thank you. And now,
thank you very much, Brijendra ji. So I know that in the beginning there was some problem with the link. You had the difficulty and we could not introduce you properly. So Nupur, can I request you to say a few words about Brijendra Swaroop ji, and then we can have the question answer session, which you can moderate.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. It was an insightful session because you could we could dive deeper into the Namami Ganga program, and we could understand different aspects of it, right from challenges to the success stories to how communities, multiple stakeholders were involved in it. And so looking at your background, it was such an impressive CV, sir. And being at the forefront of environmental sustainability and having over 3 decades of expertise in natural resource management, I want to pick your brains for a few minutes and ask, like, I myself would like to ask you a few questions and then open the floor for the Q&A session. My first question to you is that, sir, is there a comprehensive framework for other river systems, sir, in India, apart from, like, we are looking at Ganges Basin? Do we have similar frameworks that we have designed for other river systems? And is there any scope for replicability of Namami Gange and related initiatives for other river systems? That is my number one question.
He's the one operating. Yeah. I'll like to mention one thing in the presentation itself. I told you that 6 more river basins are being now, the framework is being designed right now at the ministry level, and the gases for pollution abatement, what are the basic, you can say, challenges of those. One of out of this, like Krishna, Narmada, Godavari, all these rivers, we are now, the management will be on the river basin basis, and approach will be river basin approach. It will be treating basin holistically and creation of a framework which deals with all the problem and prioritizes major challenges and tackles those major challenges. So right now, other 6 basins are being considered by Ministry of Jal Shakti, Department of Water Resources and River Development and Ganga Rejuvenation. So that is there. NMCG being the first RBO, you can say, river basin organization, will always be looked up for some solutions. Reason being, other river basins are basically, they are right now, the management will be we are ideating on that, conceptualizing, and then framing. They may adopt different framework, but the role model, initial role model, you can say, that will be Namami Ganga. And Namami Ganga, from I have given 3 attributes to river basin organization: coordination, you can say, implementation, regulation. So initial phases, NMCG more focused on implementation and coordination. Now the regulatory issues are becoming more prominent, and implementation, as we are saturating our gaps, basically pollution abatement, when we are effectively taking care of, maybe another a decade, we'll be zeroing all the gaps in pollution abatement. In that particular, 1 decade, why I'm saying that it is a pessimistic estimate. Most probably in the next phase, we'll be coming to a zero. So other river basins will follow NMCG model, but in a different way. And I'll say one thing, NMCG will remain as a model. That will be.
Okay. Sir, my final question to you. I'm a part of the renewable energy program in TNC India. I just wanted to understand, could there be a synergy between renewable energy and the initiatives that you are that are being done under the Namami Gange program? For instance, can the STPs be run on RE? Just to get an idea. Could there be a synergy, because looking at the 2030 goals and everything?
Very good question, in fact. Sure. I got your mind. See, I'll tell you, we are working, and in fact, we have done the procurement, and it is in creation phase. Meerut, you might have heard, Meerut STP of 185 MLD is totally on renewable energy. So now consciously we are promoting that STPs which are on renewable energy, or if they are generating part of their energy requirement, because you know one thing, aerobic or anaerobic digestion of sludge creates gases, methane and other, which can be utilized in generation. So we have above 30 MLD, whatever STP, we have made it mandatory. There will be sludge digestion chamber, creation of gas chambers, which can convert those gases into energy. That is a mandatory norm from us, from ourselves. We are, in fact, creating one STP. You might have heard about Okla STP here in Delhi.
Yes, sir.
564 MLD. It is the one of Asia's largest STP which we are creating, and that will be also generating, which will be meeting partial energy requirement of that STP operation. So we are promoting, and we are conscious about whatever we have promised, whatever commitments we have made on international platform. We are committed for that, and we are consciously promoting all those.
Thank you so much, sir. Jasmeet,
Right.
I see your hand raised. Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir. Jasmeet here. So very grateful that you took the time to speak to us and deliver this lecture and the presentation. Absolutely fascinating presentation, and the entire scope of the in-depth work that you do. So thank you so much for that. I just wanted to ask you about the authorities' relationship with the states in which the Ganga flows. I ask this in the context that water is a state subject, and so is, I believe, sewage and wastewater management. I wanted to understand with you, how do you coordinate with the states on the fact that whatever directives are there, they are implemented? That is one question, and the other is regarding your slide where you talked about the directives that you can give to different authorities. I just wanted to understand, is the authority also endowed with any sort of punitive measures that it can take in case the authorities' directives are not abided by?
Yeah, a good question. In fact, in federal structure like ours, sometimes things become very, very difficult. But I'll tell you one thing: water is a state subject for usage purposes, but when issues of interstate water comes, it becomes a central subject. So if you see the division of you can say jurisdictions, it is state as well as center subject. Second thing is, the authority notification is under Environment Protection Act 1986. Environment is a central subject, and the direction NMCG has been given the power to give directions. Means even SGC is bound to take directions from NMCG. So anything, and this has been clarified by in certain specific cases, court cases also, where court has upheld the view of NMCG and said that if the direction comes from NMCG, the state is bound to take care of that. But I was unable to get clear indication. If you are asking about any entity, whether it is you are talking about any government entity or state government itself, or any other entity, maybe a person, maybe a organization, maybe a private limited, or if that is the case, if you go through Environment Protection Act, the power of direction to show cause, power of direction to enter upon, power to record the evidence, power to take the matter to the court is provided to who has been empowered under EPA. So NMCG has been empowered under EPA. Therefore, we have got all the powers. Even imposition of fine, when you were talking about punitive action, can also be done by us.
Thank you, sir.
Dr. Sanjeev, please go ahead.
Please,
Your question.
Yeah, thanks, sir. It's delighted to hear you, and what an excellent presentation, and so much of work actually happened in the NMCG. I heard about NMCG work, but in such a depth and the different verticals you have explained. So one of my queries is that the riparian areas where the farmers are using a lot of chemicals in terms of the pesticides and
Just a minute, I'm receiving a call. हेलो, एक लेक्चर सीरीज में हूँ, बस 10 मिनट के बाद मैं तुम्हें करता हूँ. Yes, please, Dr. Sanjeev, please.
Yeah, in the entire Ganga river basin, the riparian areas, the farmers are actually use using the chemicals in terms of the pesticides and fertilizers so immensely, and it is actually one of the key contributors of the pollutions in Ganga river basin. And this also you have severe damage created in the whole biodiversity. So though you briefly talked about the natural farming, can you just elaborate what kind of initiatives undertaken the shifting the chemical one to the natural farming process? How easy or difficult to change the mindset of the farmers?
I don't think as a regulator, sometimes we find ourselves in, you can say, in such a dilemma of what to do about farmers, because our land holdings are very fragmented, small farmers. And if you have seen the floodplains of Ganga, you might have observed that there are seasonal farming only. During one season or two seasons, that too may not be the land belong to the farmer, but he cultivates certain crops, takes the crop, and for better productivity, they are using pesticides and that are harmful for the ecosystem, that are harmful for the biodiversity which is existing in the basin. But we are trying to weed away in association with Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. We are promoting consciously the natural farming, you can say the program of Ministry of Agriculture. We have taken certain key partners like HESCO, who provide training to the small farmers in field. They go to villages, they create a small groups, they provide them training, they give them benefit, they teach them benefits about and most probably after this MCC is over, you will see certain you we have created under World Bank funding, we have created certain commercials also regard for natural farming on the floodplain zone, at least, which should be taken care of very properly. See what is happening, the load of sewage pollution right now, which we are slowly reducing, or you can say we have reduced it up to a certain extent. Now, next will be the caused by pesticides, and so more focus will now shift towards the farming sector where this sort of problem is coming. We may think of creation of zonation where no pesticide, incentivizing farmers who are not using pesticide. These strategies will adopt. Maybe zonation of, you can say, Ganga floodplain zone up to 10 kilometers from the high flood level. We can think of that this sort of farming will be practiced if there is a dip in productivity, or that can be basically taken care of by subsidy. So these are to be envisaged, and these are to be done in consultation with Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. But consciously, we are trying to reduce the, you can say, pesticide load and insecticide load on the river.
Thank you so much.
Amrita.
One more question, Nupur, because
Yeah, Amrita. So can we take two more questions, because we have Amrita and Hariom as well, depending on the
Yeah,
time.
please. Sudipto sir is my guru basically, so I can.
So Amrita, please go next.
Thank you for the very elaborate presentation, sir. So my question is that we already had the Prevention and Pollution Control Act since 1974, and despite that, the situation is as bad as you very well know with the water streams. So the question is that why was this act, despite it being in place, why could not we control the pollution effluent discharge into the rivers, or untreated discharge into the Ganga? And if that has been fixed now, because the problem is similar in the other river streams as well. So are we doing something at a policy level to make sure that this issue can be enforced? And the second part to this question is not to this question, that now we have seen like almost 38 years of the Ganga restoration rejuvenation project, right? And we also have a fair idea of how much investment goes in and will go in to actually bring it down to, minimal pollution or, restored river system. So can we have a sort of forecast for other river systems who might take up this project, might have already initiated it, that, if we start at a certain stage, we can avoid so much of expense that would otherwise have to be incurred in order to restore river systems?
Can I take your second question first, and then I'll come to first question?
Absolutely.
I agree to your viewpoint. See, in our country, we cannot afford capital-intensive interventions. And I'll tell you one thing. It's really painful when we create such huge infrastructure, and sometimes if it is working on suboptimal level. So we need to work on more. Now there is a consciousness in NMCG also. We will promote much more nature-based solution. See, there are census towns which are more than 10,000 people in a town. So we are thinking of there, we can think of some small river regeneration work coupled with nature-based solution. You might have heard about Calcutta wetland system. Have you heard about it? Calcutta, if you see, most of the sewage is being treated in successive wetlands, and the sewage water moves from one wetland to another, and ultimately when it passes down, it is clear. It may not be up to that stringent 3 mg per liter stand, maybe, but 6, 7 or something. So BOD reduces significantly, organic load reduces significantly. That sort of systems are to be designed where capital investment are less, nature is working on its own. See, all the rivers are having their own regeneration capacity. They revive on their own with a certain limited pollution, within few kilometers, the DO level, dissolved oxygen level, comes back to the normalcy, because it is reverse self, you can say, cleansing capacity. That capacity has to be enhanced. But Ganga Basin was a specific challenge with so much of anthropogenic pressure. It has, like, you cannot allow that system to deteriorate. That is why so much of immediate measures have been taken. If I can, in a very gross way, I can mention that if a patient is about to die, you have to take the patient to ICU, rather going for some, you can say, herbal treatment or something like that. I'm not basically devaluing the efficacy of herbal system, or not enhancing the that allopathic is remedy for all. But that situation Ganga Basin posed, that situation was like you have to take all those measures. But now consciously we are much more moving to those like constructed wetlands, enhancing the capacities of small drains, trying to revive those small drains. There are problems. You see, there are certain channels which have been choked up just because of, due to real estate capturing those nalas and putting that nala is taken over and converted to real estate or something like that. It is happening. So small rivers regeneration is now key focus for us, and we are dovetailing with nature-based solutions. Like braiding of river, if you do it properly, it reduces up to NGT standards. And that is a natural solution. You create braids and you give stilling time to the river water, which is polluted. It regenerates, or wastewater, it regenerates, and then it is, you can put it into wherever you want to take that particular effluent. So capital intensive is not good. We know it very well, but we want to do it in a conscious fashion so that the problem is taken care of first, and then we move on to the other issues. Another issue, you told that we were conscious and we had this these acts since 70s. We are having Water Act, Air Act, then Environment Protection Act. I agree with you. But see, acts, they also evolve. Enforcement of act also evolves with time. It is not that only paper which has been written or gadget notification will make the act implementable. I just want to question you on one thing. How many regulators do you think in a state pollution control board or central pollution control board or NMCG must be there in comparing to the vastness of this particular issue? If the anthropogenic pressure for Ganga Basin is 60 crore people are residing in that, then we have got regulators limited to few hundreds only.
But
The
then it's
outreach
just
of
not the people, right? There are also industries that have come on the banks. And this particular act was basically levying cess.
very true.
So the industries had to pay the state for, either utilizing the water or discharging their effluents into the water. So I'm assuming a lot of money was collected, is still being collected. But just because we are paying for it doesn't mean that we can keep on polluting it, right?
No, no,
So
no.
what is the action being taken there?
Your point is well taken. It's basically, if you see all our environmental legislations are basically polluter must pay. It is not that he will be, and the principle of preventive principle. Basically, you should not that I'll pollute and then I'll pay. It is not the case. It is basically have to take action and prevent the pollution. And if it has happened, then he has to pay for that. That is the case. So I agree with you, but the regulations have got limitations. I'll tell you one thing. I'm just giving you one information and kindly don't quote me. We have created one CTP in one big industrial town where it was told that all the treatment cost, 95% of the treatment cost will be met by the NMCG funds and rest of the 5% will be the concerned industry. Do you know 95% has been in, but 5% is still missing. This is basically enforcement problem as well as commitment of the industry towards uh, uh, abatement of pollution. I am not naming it, but I'll tell you one thing. It pains me that so much of public money has gone for that, but still we are unable to do it. So these are challenges which are basically specific challenges as well as they can be generalized challenges also. But specific challenges, we are taking it up in a very, very prudent way and we are coming down heavily on those.
Okay,
Don't worry on that account. I'll tell you one thing, but regulation has got limitation. It is basically civil society has to take certain responsibilities. They have to come up. They have to, and then only industries. If we don't use product of those industries which are basically heavily polluting our system, they will certainly come to know about it. If we start putting their putting their products in a bad light on social media, they will come to know about the people's pressure. So it is civil society has to take mental of regulation as well as the government takes up the mental of regulation. We are doing our best.
Okay, Nupur,
So due to paucity of time, we'll just take one last question because I had already told Mr. Hariom. So one last question for the day, and then because sir is also busy in this, sir. So I think so. Just one more question, and then we'll just close the session, please.
let us give Krishna and some Saranya and Hariom ji.
And they can share their questions, and we'll forward it to Brijendra sir then. We'll just take one final question.
You carry on. I'll try to give a shorter answer then. But I'll take up all the questions.
Okay,
Okay.
Nupur, it's okay.
Mr. Hariom?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, sir. काफी समय से आप presentation सुन रहा था, काफी जानकारियां मिली। और विरल गंगा की जब बात कर रहे थे तो वहां पे रिजुवनेशन की कुछ नदियों की बात आपने की, तो मेरा एक जानकारी मैं समझना चाह रहा हूँ आपसे, क्या कुछ गंगा के जो कई नदियां विलुप्त होती जा रही हैं। मैं चूंकि नर्मदा के रायपुर जोन में टीएनसी के साथ हम लोग 2018 से काम कर रहे हैं, तो यहाँ पर भी करीब 28 नदियां हमारी करीब सूखने की कगार पर आ चुकी हैं, नर्मदा जी की सहायक नदियां जो हैं। तो ऐसा ही कुछ आपने जब अध्ययन किया, आप जो काम कर रहे हो उसमें सहायक नदियां जो हैं उनके लिए, उनको जीवित करने के लिए क्या प्रयास इस के माध्यम से आप कर रहे हैं, एक तो ये मैं जानना चाहूंगा आपसे। दूसरा, आपने एक वेटलैंड कंजर्वेशन की जब आप बात कर रहे थे, तो उसमें एक मॉडल टूल किट की आपने बात की थी। तो वो टूल किट में क्या होता है, अगर वो थोड़ा सा संक्षेप में आप बता पाएंगे, उसमें हम लोग कैसे उसको आगे उपयोग कर सकते हैं, तो अच्छा रहेगा। थैंक यू सर।
देखिए, ट्रिब्यूटरी लेवल पे नहीं, मैं तो थर्ड ऑर्डर फोर्थ ऑर्डर की बात करूंगा आपसे। वो नदियां जो बिल्कुल जिसे कहते हैं स्मॉल रिवर, लघु नदियां कह लीजिए आप जिनको, वो नदियों पे हम इसलिए काम करना चाह रहे थे कि उनके बारे में एक तो जानकारियां बहुत कम है। आप जो कह रहे हैं वो भी सही है कि विलुप्त हो रही हैं, और वो हुई हैं उनके कारण का पता करना सबसे बड़ी जिसे कहते हैं हमारे लिए चुनौती जो है, कारणों का पता करना। और साइंस किस तरह से, टेक्नोलॉजी किस तरह से हमें हेल्प कर सकता है। हमारे यहाँ पे मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ कि इस तरह की नदियों की जानकारी के लिए हमने कई सारे विशेषज्ञ रखे हुए हैं। हाइड्रोजियोलॉजिस्ट भी हैं, जियोलॉजिस्ट भी हैं, हाइड्रोलॉजिस्ट भी हैं। हमारे यहाँ पे रिवर के फ्लोरा और सोना के भी एक्सपर्ट्स हैं। तो हम अभी जो कर रहे हैं, जहाँ पे मैं आप लोगों को ये बोल रहा था कि हम टेक्नोलॉजी करेंगे नेचर बेस्ड सोल्यूशन के थ्रू, और उन रिवर्स का क्या नाम है फ्लो, और क्या नाम है उन रिवर्स के पोल्यूशन को अबेट करेंगे, या अगर एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव और लीगल इश्यूज हैं जैसे इंक्रोच अपॉन हो चुकी हैं उनको सॉल्व करने का। ये एग्जाम्पल हम क्यों क्रिएट करना चाह रहे थे, क्योंकि जो छोटी नदियां हैं वो 2 या 4 जिलों में ही उनका एग्जिस्टेंस है। और हो सकता है कि आज से 20 साल 50 साल बाद उनके बारे में कोई जाने भी ना। उनकी मैपिंग पे हम काम कर रहे हैं। मैप करके जो पैलियो चैनल्स हैं या जो पुराने सैटेलाइट इमेजरीज पे देख रहे हैं, उन पे हम उनका कोर्स मैप करते हुए हम ये देखना चाह रहे हैं कि कहाँ कहाँ पे इंक्रोच अपॉन हुई है, और उन इंक्रोचमेंट के रीजंस को पता करके उनको हम वहाँ के एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन के साथ वो इंक्रोचमेंट हटवाना चाहते हैं। इसीलिए हम डिस्ट्रिक्ट गंगा कमेटी को एम्पावर कर रहे हैं। अगर वहां पे मान लीजिए कि उन इंक्रोच अपॉन होने के साथ साथ कुछ और भी ऐसे रीजंस थे जिनकी वजह से वो नदियों का फ्लो रुका है, तो उन फ्लो के उन कारणों को भी दूर करना चाहते हैं। उनको रिवाइव करने पे बेसिकली जिस भी ट्रिब्यूटरी या जिस भी मेन स्ट्रीम के वो ड्रेनेज में वो आती हैं, उन नदियों को हम रिवाइव करेंगे, उनका बेस फ्लो बढ़ेगा और उनकी सेल्फ क्लेंजिंग कैपेसिटी बढ़ेगी, क्योंकि बेस फ्लो बढ़ने पर रिवर का फ्लो बढ़ेगा, और जितना रिवर का फ्लो ज्यादा होगा उतनी उसकी सेल्फ क्लेंजिंग कैपेसिटी होगी। ये देखिए, ये मैंने आपको जिसे बताया ना कि ये हमारा लॉजिकल थॉट प्रोसेस है जिसपे हम काम कर रहे हैं। इसके साथ जो जो टेक्निक और एक्सपर्टीज की जरूरत है वो हमारे नॉलेज पार्टनर्स प्रोवाइड करते हैं और हमारे इन हाउस एक्सपर्ट्स प्रोवाइड करते हैं। मैंने आपको बताया कि हमारे पास क्या नाम है जीआईएस एक्सपर्ट से लेके हाइड्रोलॉजिस्ट से लेके क्या नाम है फ्लोरा फोना के सारे एक्सपर्ट्स अवेलेबल है। एनएमसीजी का अपनी एक्सपर्टीज अब ये है, मैं आपको ये कह सकता हूँ कि हम छोटे मोटे रिवर बेसिन की गाइडेंस प्रोवाइड कर सकते हैं और उनका रिवर बेसिन मैनेजमेंट प्लान बना सकते हैं। तो ये, और आप जैसे नर्मदा पे कह रहे हैं, नर्मदा पे अब जब काम शुरू होगा और जहां आप काम कर रहे हैं तो आप उसमें एक्टिवली पार्टिसिपेट करें, एंड मैं आपको ये अश्योर करता हूं कि विल बी सर्टेनली हेल्पिंग आउट। क्योंकि देखिए, हमारे यहाँ पे नेशनल रिवर कंजर्वेशन डायरेक्टरेट भी है, एनआरसीडी इस चीज को टेकअप कर रहा है अदर 6 बेसिन्स का, और हम एनआरसीडी की हेल्प कर रहे हैं एज ए एनएमसीजी। हम तो रिवर बेसिन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है हम, लेकिन एनआरसीडी के डायरेक्टरेट को हेल्प कर रहे हैं। और जो 6 बेसिन्स में अब काम शुरू होगा, आप ये देखेंगे बहुत फास्ट पेस पे होने वाला है, क्योंकि हमारा एक्सपीरियंस जो पिछले 38 साल अगर आप कहना चाहें तो 38 साल, मैं तो उनको 10 साल ही कहूंगा, 38 साल जो है हमारा, उसका जो एक्सपीरियंस है वो हम एनआरसीडी को ट्रांसफर कर रहे हैं। आपने एक और क्वेश्चन पूछा था दैट मैं मिस कर रहा हूँ, आपने
टूल्स की बात की थी सर,
किसकी?
मॉडल टूल किट।
हाँ, वो
मॉडल टूल
टूल
किट।
किट। टूल किट के लिए मैं आपको एक ही चीज कहूंगा कि कृष्णा जी, आप इसके डिटेल के लिए सुदीप्तो सर से मेरा मोबाइल नंबर ले लीजिएगा, मैं आपको डिटेल में इसके बारे में, ये टूल किट GIZ के द्वारा जर्मन बैंक की जो टीम है उन्होंने डेवलप करवाया था। मैं उसके बारे में सारे ऑफ द कफ, मुझे अभी पूरी तरह से ये नहीं मालूम है कि वो मॉडल टूल किट में क्या क्या चीजें थी। मैं आपको इनकम्प्लीट इन्फॉर्मेशन नहीं देना चाहता हूँ, इसलिए आप मेरा मोबाइल नंबर ले लीजिएगा, एक व्हाट्सएप डाल दीजिएगा, आपको मैं उस पर जितनी भी हमारे यहाँ जानकारी है मैं आपको दे दूंगा।
नहीं तो हरिओम जी वर्कशॉप करेंगे तो उसमें भी चर्चा कर लेंगे हम लोग टूल किट की।
बिल्कुल सर,
सर
बिल्कुल सर,
सर सर एक काम कीजिएगा सर, हम लोग का एक सेशन दे दीजिएगा NMCG का।
हाँ आपको ले चल रहे हैं।
मैं अपने एक्सपर्ट्स लेके आ जाऊंगा आपके उसमें वर्कशॉप।
आप Nupur, please allow Krishna and Saranya,
Sure.
they're partners. So
Yeah, sure. Saranya, please go ahead with your question.
Thank you so much to Professor Sudeepa Chatterjee for extending the invitation to attend this insightful meeting. And thank you very much, Brijendra ji, for an extensive and comprehensive presentation on Namami Gange. My question is kind of related to one of the questions which was asked on farmers earlier. So I just have a very small query to understand whether there are rural sanitation components incorporated into the Namami Gange program already or not? If yes, what are those? Because I remember you talking about district level as well as urban level uh,
Yeah.
sanitation components. But if there are not, is the government planning on extending something towards that? So that's my question.
I'll tell you one thing. Very good question, Saranya. In Swachh Bharat Mission 1 as well as Swachh Bharat Mission 2, NMCG was part. All the Ganga grams which are on the banks of river, they have been made open defecation free. Toilets have been provided through the money of NMCG, and that we have done through our own Department of Water Resources. This has been already done. Swachh Bharat Mission Part 1 we are part, and Swachh Bharat Mission Part 2 also we are part. And lot many villages are basically, they have got the ODF plus status also. So we are part of it. And I'll share one more thing. The last two Kumbhs NMCG presence was there. The next Kumbh, which is happening in 2025 in Prayag, the almost 1 lakh toilets will be constructed by NMCG over there. Temporary toilets will be constructed by NMCG, and we are contributing almost 400 crores for, in fact, for making Kumbh. You can say, but the pollution load should not come to the river. We are making river pollution free. So for that, we are investing so much. So that way, your concern is genuine, as well as we are taking care of that. That's what I can say.
Please,
Thank you so much, sir.
Krishna, please go ahead with your question. This is the final question for the session.
And thanks to Sudipto and also to Mr. Brijendra Swaroop for this presentation. It's a very candid presentation. So this is not a question, actually, that's why I'm coming in last. This is primarily about how do you cope up with this upstream and downstream issues, especially the one outside this NMCG area, especially the Ganga Basin, like upstream states in Himachal, Uttarakhand, Ladakh, those the area what you call the water towers. How do you connect in terms of coordinating in terms of e-flows? Because we have heard that e-flows are being maintained, and that's first thing. And second thing is about how do you see inland navigation as a future challenge in the basin? Thank you so much.
Very good question. In fact, see, I belong to Indian Forest Services. I belong to a hill cadre. Cadre is Sikkim, one of the most beautiful state in country. I'll tell you one thing. Hills are basically they are the cradle for you can say sustenance of all the people who are residing in plains. In the you can say they provide water. All water towers are there located in Himalayas only. See, most of the flow almost 30 to 40% of the Ganga flow comes from the glaciers. But see if you have been to hill and if you know the people of hill estate, they are very permissive people, and they are the forerunners of conservation in country. I'll tell you, Himalayas, they conserve biodiversity, they conserve forests. These forests are basically storehouse of our water. They conserve our glaciers, but still they are very less demanding. I'll tell you, Finance Commission hardly for green cover they give 5% extra from kitty, not more than that. But they have foregone their development for the you can say whatever development planes are right now reaping or benefits or economic growth they are reaping, that has got some inherent cost or indirect cost, which is conservation efforts of hills, which has not been taken into account. Maybe in future policies will be uh, giving them the due. We will be paying the ecosystem services which has been rendered by them. So this question is really very vital. And as a, you can say, forester or as a regulator, as a part of NMCG or previously as part of MOU, I really sometimes feel that the people in hills, they save our environment and still they have not been paid back. They want to, with the GST, they have got very limited scope of raising any taxes or something. So it becomes really, if you see their economy is much more dependent on tourism, and tourism is now creating negative influence. So these are to be redressed. Most probably, I'm hopeful that our policymakers will take care of this. The upstream and downstream, I'll tell you, the problem is right now not there here in Ganga Basin regarding flow. Till now, not. Hopefully, it should not be. As well as for interstate water dispute, center is the authority. They can create tribunal that is, I think, schedule central list. You can get it also. So there are so many tribunals, there are awards not being complied, people moving to Supreme Court and all those things. States moving to Supreme Court, that is there. But those challenges till now we have not faced here in Ganga Basin. All the states they have never raised a question that why Uttarakhand is not releasing enough of water to Uttar Pradesh, or Uttar Pradesh is not releasing enough water to Bihar or something like that. Till now we have not received this sort of problem.
Thank you so much, sir, and the audience for the wonderful Q&A session. Sir, Sudipto sir, would you like to take it from here?
Yeah, so I would like to thank all of you, first of all, participants, our partners, and then obviously Brijendra ji for making our evening really beautiful. It has been a wonderful session. We stretched by around more than 40 minutes. We thought of 1 hour, but then we went 1 hour 40 minutes. So that shows the interest. I hope Brijendra, you will be with us. There are many more topics on which we can have a discussion in our lecture series. So thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful evening. And thank you, Nupur. I would like to thank our MD India office for organizing this. And Jasmeet is here sitting right opposite to me, our communication division. So they pulled up things together and then they made this presentation happen. Thank you again.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
sir.
TLC, for giving me
so
this
much.
opportunity to showcase NMCG's work. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.